Good evening, everyone. And I will open our regular council meeting at 5 p.m. on September 8th. We have an agenda in front of us. Are there any additions or deletions? I have nothing, Your Worship. Thank you. Thank you. Would someone please move us forward here? Councillor Good.
I'll move the council adopt the agenda of the September 8th, 2025 regular council meeting as presented.
Great. All those in favor? It is carried. Now we have the adoption of the minutes of August 25th, regular council meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review those. Are there any edits that someone has noticed? And perhaps someone could move us forward on this one as well. Councillor Ford.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I move that council adopt the minutes of the August 25th, 2025 regular council meeting as presented.
Thank you. Everybody, all those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Public hearings, we don't have any today, but we do have a delegation presentation from the Mighty Peace Tourism Association. So whoever wishes to present could come forward, and once you turn on the mic, it'll turn red. And if you could please state your name so that it's for the record. And we do have a copy of your presentation in our agenda packages, and it's probably up on the screen there too.
How? Get it to go now. You know where to go. Okay. Good evening, Your Worship and Council. My name is Tammy Brower. I'm the Executive Director of Mighty Peace Tourism.
My name is Alana Bergeron. I'm the Marketing Coordinator for Mighty Peace Tourism.
And we're here to share with you what we do, how we work with Travel Alberta, and most importantly, how our work directly supports the town of Peace River and its tourism, economic development, and community initiatives. We also wanted to thank you for the opportunity to attend Roger Brooks' presentation. We followed up with him afterward and received helpful suggestions that gave us a few ideas. As we go through this presentation, we can take a look at some of these changes and you can let us know what you think. First, I will tell you a bit about Mighty Peace Tourism. We have been the DMO, or Destination Marketing Organization, for the Peace region since 1963. We are a member-based nonprofit, and as you can see from our mission and vision statements, it's our goal to promote and inspire exploration of the region as a whole. So as I'm sure most of you already know, tourism is one of Alberta's fastest growing economic sectors, with the province targeting 25 billion in visitor spending by 2035. And we want to ensure the Peace region and the town of Peace River gets a strong share of this growth. I'll talk a bit about Mighty Peace Tourism's financial model. Besides membership, sales, and some sponsorship, Mighty Peace Tourism applies annually for grant funding from Travel Alberta to support a wide range of marketing initiatives. This support has allowed us to build and maintain a professional, user-friendly website that consistently ranks highly in search results. With regularly updated, relevant content, our site offers the most effective platform for showcasing our region as a whole in a consistent, professionally branded manner. And there's also one future funding opportunity I just wanted to touch on briefly. I think this is probably something the town has talked about as well, and that's a DMF. Currently, Alberta is a little bit like the Wild West when it comes to DMFs. That's Destination Marketing Fund, by the way. There are many voluntary funds operating in the province, but no legislation currently. A provincially regulated DMF could be very helpful for smaller remote communities like ours to develop a fund in our own region. The province is working on this. Late last fall, Mighty Peace Tourism was invited by the Ministry of Tourism and Sport to submit a governance proposal for a fund like this. And we're hoping a plan will be implemented within the next couple of years. Okay, so Mighty Peace Tourism creates dedicated destination pages for each of our municipal partners on our high traffic website, and we'll just take a look at Peace Rivers here.
So after we listened to the Roger Brooks presentation, we really took some of his ideas and implemented them onto all of our destination pages. So this is the Town of Peace Rivers destination page. This is a very well visited page where we drive traffic to through our campaign. So one of the items that Roger Brooks said was, it's great when people come to a destination, everybody knows there's restaurants, there's playgrounds, there's hiking, but we need to get more specific. So that's kind of what we did to this destination page here. So we've got a map. It kind of shows how far people have to travel to get to Peace River. And then we have a video for each of our destination pages. And then now we have our top 5 do not miss list. And we were very specific with what we chose this time. So we chose the Jet Boat Championships and River Days. Peace River Adventures, because it's a very unique experience to the region. The Lower West Peace Boat Launch. Misery Mountain. And then the Peace River Bridge Pathway. And under each of these items, you can click on a link and it will take you to a spot where you can see more pictures and it gives you more details about the spot. We also have our top 5 winter list as well. And then, that's our newsletter pop up. We have all of our attractions in Peace River. So any member that resides in the Peace River area gets listed on this page now. People can click on it. It takes them to their listing on our website and you can get more information and pictures and sometimes videos too. We also have a section for staying in Peace River. So it's got all of our hotels and campground in there. And then we have our signature events for Peace River. And then lastly, our restaurants. And then we have some trip inspiration. So different blog posts that have items in Peace River listed in them as well. Okay, so we'll just chat a little bit about some of the key projects that we're doing right now. Mighty Peace Tourism produces top-notch marketing campaigns for the region that have proven to be highly effective, and the website is updated every few months to match the season. We worked on updating this river guide, originally printed in 1993. It was printed this spring in a beautiful water tear-proof paper version. We expanded this original guide to include let's see here, over 300 kilometers of the riverway. It features 82 documented points of interest. And it's also online, it's downloadable. And you can create your own itinerary that you can download. And this summer, we worked on gathering more data to expand this guide all the way up to the Carcajou boat launch. And we also gathered data on the Smoky River from past Watino all the way to the confluence into the Peace. So next spring, you can expect to see the Smoky River Guide and the expanded Peace River Guide. And it's really cool too, because it's not just for boaters in the area, it's also for paddlers as well. So you've got paddle times on here. It's a really great resource as well. We worked with Explore on it, and there's no map that has been developed for the river yet. So we're pretty excited about this project. And we also create this activity guide each year. It's available online as well in a downloadable form and also an interactive version. Then we print it each spring. It's an excellent guide for anything to do with recreation in the area if you're trying to plan an adventure in the Peace. It's got information on golf courses, ski hills, restaurants, campsites, everything you could possibly imagine. And we print it each spring, and the printed version is distributed to visitor information centers all over Alberta. Some going to BC, some going to the Yukon, the territories, and they're also distributed regionally to all the tourism hotspots. That's like hotels and airports, campgrounds, etc.
We create a newsletter, probably about 6 a year. It's supposed to be quarterly, but we end up doing probably 6 in a year. And these newsletters are packed with information on exciting events, activities, and destinations. They're an external newsletter, so they're geared for visitors. And we sell ad space to our members in them as well.
We just did a huge facelift of this newsletter too, so it's brand new. It looks a little bit different. It's more on brand with Mighty Peace Tourism. And we're able to cram it with more operators too, so we're pretty happy with the new facelift.
And I'll talk a little bit about some of the content creation that we do. Our grant funding powers some high quality photo and video shoots for us, plus professionally written descriptions, articles, and itineraries, and all of that boosts our search engine optimization. We also partner with creators like Linda Huang, Seekers Media, and Explore Outdoors to showcase golf, skiing, standout eateries, unique accommodations, and all of that resulting content is available to our members on our members portal. And we also offer some workshops, education, and research on that members portal. We host lunch and learns and webinars designed to support and educate, and recorded versions of these workshops are on the members portal. And we also have a postal code study there and some strategic plans to assist our members who are creating a marketing plan or applying for funding. This fall, we're working with Northern Sunrise County and Sunstone Strategic to run some lunch and learns here in Peace River. So Mighty Peace Tourism works with 19 municipalities and over 100 businesses and organizations to put the Peace and Smoky River region on the map. We know that many of our visitors drive 3 to 5 hours to reach us, and we know they are often drawn by our wide open spaces, wildlife, rivers, lakes, trails, and year-round recreation. By showcasing the region as a destination with carefully built itineraries packed with activities, must-see sites, excellent accommodations, great local dining, together we invite visitors to come, stay, and explore longer, and of course, spend more. And I like to say, let's see. Oh yeah, the Peace Region's trusted voice for all things tourism. I like to say that we're the face of tourism. For visitors and residents searching online for things to see and do in the Peace Region, mightypeace.com consistently ranks among the top results. We also have strong social media platforms, and this is a reflection of the trust we've built and the role that we play as the go-to source for information on all things tourism. This also means that we represent the region at trade shows, tourism conferences, and for media relations. And then when you work with Mighty Peace Tourism, you also tap into our collaboration network. These partnerships extend our reach, help with search engine optimization, and make our dollars go further. Working together as a region creates a stronger voice and better results. We work closely with Travel Alberta, and last fall we secured and coordinated a regional photo shoot with them to capture some stunning natural beauty in the region. And they have added that to their wildlands page. So it's really helped to beef up our region's page on the Travel Alberta website. We worked with Indigenous Tourism of Alberta. We hosted a workshop last fall that was really well attended. The Northern Sky Tourism Corridor, this is a pretty exciting project. We recently worked with several industry partners, including Destination Canada, Explore Edmonton, and Northwest Territories Tourism, as well as our neighboring DMOs, to create a Northern Sky Tourism Corridor strategy and an investment report, which aims to develop the corridor running from Edmonton all the way up to the Northwest Territories. We are working with Grand Prairie and Slave Lake to plan a tourism summit this fall. This event will support and inspire both new and established tourism operators, community leaders, and event organizers. And then the World Jet Boat Championship race. As you all know, this is a huge and unique event in our region, and one of our board members was able to lobby Travel Alberta to support this event financially through Mighty Peace Tourism's grant funds. And we were able to sponsor the Peace River Boating Association with $25,000 this year. So the Northern Sky Tourism Corridor Project, this Destination Canada project that I just mentioned, I identified the concept of a Peace River Adventure Base Camp as a potential catalyst project. So this is fantastic news for the town. This plan proposes a multi-season adventure base camp by Peace River's trails and riverfront. Lodging, rentals, guided experiences, and a booking center all in one. This will drive longer stays, higher spend, and year-round tourism. And Destination Canada has already shown support for development with the launch of their Tourism Sprint funding program. So this has some of our impact numbers. I won't go through each and every one, but I will say that our website and social channels are performing exceptionally well and can continue to grow year over year in reach, engagement, and impact. And then we'll just take a look at one of our one of our campaigns that's doing very well, and it's been really well received.
So this is our second year for the Be Picky campaign. Basically what we are trying to do is we're trying to let visitors know if they come to the region, they can be picky. There's so many different experiences that they can have here in the region, and for lots of different people as well. So what we are focusing on this year is harvesting new experiences, discover the open road, so motorcycle tourism, find peace on the water, so everything to do with the river as well as our beautiful lakes in the area. Choose nature with no limits, our dark sky adventures, and dive into local life, as well as swing into the Northwest, so all of our campgrounds as well. So our campaigns, we focus on videos because they do exceptionally well, and we drive traffic to our website. We also focus on these big activities where we can have operators listed on these pages, and it helps for them to book tours, and it does better that way. So this is kind of the hub for the campaign. And from there, when people are interested in specific things, they can click on it. So we'll click on Harvest New Memories. This is all about agricultural tourism in the area. So we have a video that pops up with each of our hubs, and then different tours that they can go on that list different operators throughout the region, different experiences, agricultural experiences they can go on, and then our trip and travel ideas for them as well. So this always does really well. We'll probably run another campaign similar to this for next summer, but it'll have a little bit of a twist. I'm not going to give away what we're doing yet, but it'll be really great.
So in conclusion, I'll say it really does take an entire region to build an amazing destination like the Mighty Peace. And we're very proud to be the trusted voice for tourism in our region, supporting our communities, showcasing what makes us special, and working with partners to grow a vibrant, welcoming visitor economy. We're excited for what's ahead, and we thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. So councillors, questions? Councillor Good?
I'll just fire in on this one. Tourism, I think a lot of people really don't understand the magnitude of Alberta's tourism industry compared to other industries in Alberta. And this is not disparaging any other industry, but when you compare tourism to agriculture, for example, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but tourism is larger than agriculture as part of the GDP in Alberta. Last year, I've got some numbers here. Visitor spending alone as part of that GDP was $14.4 billion. That's a 12% increase over 2023. Well, agriculture GDP was significantly lower than that. The data for 2024 indicates that the contribution was significantly larger than agriculture, with the agricultural sector accounting for roughly 2.5% of Alberta's GDP, which was less than the tourism spending component alone. I mean, that's not a criticism of agriculture. That's been a driver of the economy of this province for, however long Alberta's been in existence. But it does point out the opportunities that are available, because my feeling, and this is just personal, it's easier to increase tourism than it is to increase crop yields. So if you're going to put your money into an investment, tourism is certainly an open category and a category with a growth potential. I just don't think that a lot of people realize how significant it is and how much of a driver it can be for a local economy.
Councillor Shannon?
It certainly is a driver for local economy. I do have one question though. I know that you do a great job in Alberta, but what is your, partnership with, the federal, bringing Canadians into Alberta? Is there an arm of your organization that reaches out to that?
Well, we work really closely with Travel Alberta. Obviously, for Mighty Peace Tourism, we're not for profit organization. We have a very small budget. So we focus on our relationships with Travel Alberta, Destination Canada. So basically what they give us basically the groundwork of what we should be doing, and we take advantage of different programs and marketing activities that are free and help us with cost savings as well. So those relationships are super strong for us.
And then one more question. Are you able to have, glean out of your budget enough to go to conferences that you'd like to go to, or is your budget underfunded on those kind of things? Because I would have liked to see you guys at a few that I've been to and I haven't, so I was just kind of wondering on that.
I know there's a international indigenous conference coming up that I'd like to go to that's quite expensive. So I don't know, we'll have to look at the budget this fall and see what kind of funding is there.
Because we're in an isolated area and they aren't coming to us, so we actually have to go to them. And I know that that is expensive, and I'd like to see you have more opportunities to go to some of those events.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're in the wildlands area of Alberta, apparently, right? The wildlands area of Alberta is our region. I kind of find that a funny name.
In the Travel Alberta one.
Yeah. I don't know what I would call it, but wildland seems like.
I think they want to really portray our area as like the last frontier.
Oh,
So all these open spaces, you're gonna get away from the crowds of Banff and Jasper. You're gonna come to this untouched land, and I think that's kind of what they're going with, and that's kind of what we focus on as well.
yeah. Interesting. And Peace River as a base camp, that kind of is a entertaining idea, like a good idea. Sorry, our microphones sometimes do weird things. So
If you're not speaking, then that's not good.
yeah, sometimes that helps.
That's our fault, not yours.
Yeah, so Peace River is a base camp. It's kind of a innovative, I guess, or good idea. So it can encompass a whole bunch of things, I would think.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky that Destination Canada came out to this area. Like, when are we ever gonna get Destination Canada out here? And they did a lot of research. They started the project in November, and they have done so much work already. We thought this project was gonna take years before we saw anything. And they outlined two catalyst projects, one for Peace River and then one for the Northwest Territories and Yellowknife. So they said that it would be a good idea to create some kind of like a Canada dream, because they're finding all these RVers go up there and there's nowhere to drop off their RVs and fly home. So they have to drive out there and then they have to drive all the way home. And a lot of people don't have that much time. So that's the catalyst project for that area. And then Peace River was identified as basically an adventure base camp would be like a great idea out here. So now I think they're going to be completing their report and they're gonna be presenting it to everybody. And they're gonna have a stakeholder committee created and try to get some financial opportunities out here for operators and anybody who wants to be a part of those projects.
Yeah, I was listening to an item the other day, they were talking about travel, in particular the Yukon. And I never thought of it before, but this couple had flown, I think, to Whitehorse, and then they were able to rent a camper of some sort there, do their thing, drop off the camper and fly back home, I guess. So that kind of thing, I guess, appeals to a lot of people who are, as you say, are short on time and other things. As a wildlands area then, is there any information about how many tourists come from, let's say non-Canadian, places?
Answer that.
I'm not sure. Yes.
Well, actually on the Travel Alberta website, there's an industry section. So they've got so much research on who's coming to Alberta, how to market to them. They've got different target audiences that you should focus on. There's so much great information on the Travel Alberta website, as well as on the Mighty Peace Tourism website. So when members purchase a membership with us, they have a member login. So they log into the back end of our website and we've got all these links for operators that kind of direct them to these great spots where they can get information.
Good. Well, the website is great, and I've noticed over the past, few years, it's really changed and become, as you say, more interactive, and just the amount of information that's there is great to see. So thank you. Councillors, any last minute? Yeah.
So if I were, let's say an operator, I'm not, like I started a restaurant or say a bed and breakfast or something like that, how would I get featured with you guys? Like what process would that go by if I was say someone new trying to get going?
Well, it's really easy to purchase a membership with us. That'd be the first step. You can go on our members portal and easily purchase a business membership. And then we go from there. When we work with a content creator, I think that's a really great opportunity for our members too. It's like it costs us, about $4,000 to work with the one content creator from Edmonton. And we got her audience basically is exactly our audience that we're trying to target. And we pay the $4,000, and all we ask for our members to do is donate a meal or an experience to her. And they are able to jump on that campaign, and I mean, they would be able to afford that probably on their own. So it's a great opportunity that way. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, like we really count on like counselors and mayors and administration to push Mighty Peace Tourism too. It obviously takes a lot of power from us and time away from other activities when we have to go out and try to sell memberships. Destinations always perform better when they have more memberships in the area. Cause they're like, wow, we can come to Peace River. There's all these restaurants, so many places to stay, unique operators for different types of experiences. So we really count on like our board is really great. They help us sell memberships and kind of word of mouth too.
Great, thanks.
Councillor Ford?
Yeah, mine was more of a comment than a question, but I've been on the website a number of times. I think it's amazing, especially with all the videos, and it really brings tourism to the whole region. And a little earlier on, you had handed out these handouts, and I've never seen this before, and I was talking to the mayor, and I opened it up and I said, I hope there's a map, and lo and behold, that's actually great to see. But that Be Picky campaign, I'm actually quite impressed with that, because it doesn't matter where you go on social media, like it's hit up here already because you've seen it so many times just by going on social media. So job well done.
We should also note too, Travel Alberta, they always tell us that we're a small DMO, but we're quite competitive with those larger DMOs too. We're doing a lot of the stuff that they're doing, but just on a smaller scale. So yeah, we're pretty happy with our Be Picky campaigns and the website and what we're kind of doing now with the organization.
Yeah.
Councillor Deputy Mayor Boychuk?
an absolutely gorgeous webpage, but I've been to a lot of places across our country. And I'd have to say Peace River is one of the top destinations I've ever been for wildlife, and I don't see a heck of a lot of that on the pictures that I looked through here, because man, oh man, we have so much to offer when it comes to birds, large animals and stuff like that. So small little suggestion, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's a good idea.
So thank you very much and good luck with all your campaigns and adventures. And we'll hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda, we have bylaws and bylaw number 2180, the Peace River Policing Committee bylaw. And Ms. Parsons is going to brief us on this one.
Thank you, Mayor Lindsay. Thank you, Mayor Council. So the Peace River Policing Committee bylaw, we saw this at the August 25th meeting. Since then, I did a follow-up with the province confirming that question whether non-voting members needed to do the enhanced security checks. They confirmed that they do not. It's only the appointed municipal and provincial members. Also asked if there were any updates on predicted costs for the enhanced security checks. They do not have that information yet, but did confirm that they will be covering the costs of the implementation phase. So the first phase of appointees. And then again, there was the question, how and from what pool are the provincial members appointed? And so they confirmed that the minister may use 3 different processes to draw potential appointees for municipal policing committees and also for municipal police commissions. The process is generally by open competition or by direct appointment and or by a hybrid of both of these methods. Communities can also nominate or submit names from their municipality organizations in their area that they feel would suit the role and be a fit for the municipal policing committee. So a few options for how the minister would appoint additional members to the committee. Since you've seen the bylaw, there's been a couple of changes, but nothing overly significant. I updated it with a bylaw number now. We took out the reference to having staff have to be no longer employed for a minimum of 12 months and just dropped it down to just they can't be a current employee of the town. We didn't see a need to leave in the and be vacant for 12 months after. Made the change to memberships for the committee per council's direction last time being 2 members of council and then 3 public members at large. And then just cleaning up a few typos. And otherwise, that was it. Did council have any questions or requested changes from last discussion?
I had a question. It has to do with section 7. Sort of section 7 and then number 33. So in 33, the committee is going to develop a yearly plan of priorities and strategies for the municipal policing and also a community safety plan. So that's what this committee is going to do. And then they're going to oversee the administration of the municipal policing service agreement, I guess. And they're going to develop a yearly plan of priorities, but yet they don't really seem to have much, I don't know, do they have much authority to see that anything is implemented? They're just advisory, right? Advisory to the staff sergeant essentially, or the RCMP, however, organization, and sort of the CAO kind of thing.
Yes, they are an advisory committee. I wouldn't see them having any powers of enforcement over any of these, but section 7 and so section 33 as well, that's the list is taken directly from section 4 of the regulations. So it was just what we had to have in there and have them do.
Council, any further questions or comments on this, Deputy Mayor?
Will this change the way the RCMP report to council and how council gives their priorities? Will this group take over that? Since it has members of council on that, or is this a whole separate, different thing here? Is it just, if you got one group saying this is our priorities and they come before council again and saying this is our priorities, how, we're gonna be in trouble.
That's a really good question. I think it would be at the discretion of council. I mean, it certainly, doesn't take away council's ability to share their priorities, although I think it would be better if we had a strong, together voice. So those members of council would be sharing with the committee what we see as our priorities. The committee would be sharing back, and hopefully we could work together to get, some priorities that we all agree on and can have a shared voice behind. Otherwise, it's exactly the problem that you pointed out.
And just to clarify, the priorities this committee are dealing with are the priorities of the town. They're not like sort of like the present priorities, which the town gives information to staff sergeant, but they collect from other municipalities as well, and then they come up with a regional priority thing. And this one would just be for the town supposedly, right?
That's correct. The smaller municipalities, the counties, the province has created a provincial municipal policing committee that's supposed to represent those municipalities and put together the same type of documentation. So they would be listing their priorities and we'd be listing ours.
It's kind of interesting when they're still gonna operate out of the same detachment, I guess. CEO Miller and then Councilor Good.
Thank you. I just want to provide clarity that I believe, it would be my understanding, the staff sergeant will continue to come to council as well and give the quarterly reports. I don't see any changes in that. And I would anticipate still meeting with them on a monthly basis as well.
Councilor Good?
Well, I'm sort of confused, and maybe it's just my misunderstanding, but you're gonna have one group, not council, that's gonna be able to advise and give suggestions, because I think that's really what they're gonna be, because they can't direct the RCMP. You know, council, which can give suggestions, but can't really direct either the RCMP. The difficulty I see is the MGA kind of hints that councils have a say in what the RCMP do. But a say without any kind of weight behind it or authority behind it is a suggestion. It really doesn't mean that, and I'm not being critical of anybody here. What I'm saying is that the structure doesn't allow either one of those groups to say, these are what we think our community needs, therefore do something about it. It's, these are what we think our community needs. We hope you take that into consideration. And we'd really like it and be happy if you did. And we'd probably invite you to the barbecue, but again, I find it frustrating when there's a perception out there that these groups will have authority or be able to have some teeth. It's kind of like when government asks everybody's opinion and then does something totally different because they didn't like the way the results went. Well, thanks for nothing. I'm being sarcastic here, but I'm confused and frustrated by the process. When you tell us you're gonna give us a voice, but with nothing behind it, other than the best wishes.
Councilor Scannahorn?
So I'm just looking under 7, so in 7E says assisting in the selection of the officer in charge. I mean, is that only when there would be an officer to be selected, or might that be influence over the one who's currently in charge? And then the following F says reporting annually or on request to the minister on the implementation of and updates to programs and services to achieve the priorities of the police force. I mean, let's imagine for a moment, perhaps the officer in charge has somewhat of an adversarial relationship or differing of opinion as to the priorities of the committee. Could the committee then, when reporting to the minister, say, look, the officer in charge isn't following our priorities, then you potentially could be bringing in the weight of the minister to perhaps interact there, like. I don't wanna say that it's nothing, because I think it's something, I just don't know, the other question is how much weight are behind those 2 points, right?
And I guess it's just to implement and
Yeah.
see how things go. The Police Act is mandating that we create this committee and mandate the regulations, mandate what they have to do. And if they can do it, I guess that would be the report that goes to the minister. We were unable to achieve our directives because we didn't have the cooperation of the RCMP or, could certainly be part of your report, but yeah, it's just to implement and hope we can get things going well and work well with our department.
Okay, and the time frame for all of this, we're perhaps going into first reading or something tonight. This would be after the election that things would really kick into this committee if everything's solidified. Or when?
That's right. So, seeking first reading tonight, as mentioned in the report, council is free to consider second and third should they so choose. Unless they were wanting to see changes, or we can just leave it at first, give it a little bit of time to ruminate with it one more time and then bring it back again on the 22nd. And then once it's in place, that's exactly it. We can start getting together the committee application and figuring out that process and kind of get it ready to kick off with the new council after the election and assigning council members at the next organizational meeting.
And with respect to the enhanced security check, like what is an enhanced security check?
That's a good question.
Security check turned to 11.
It's an increased, it's a higher level check than just a simple criminal record check. I'm not overly familiar with exactly what it entails. But it's just a deeper dive.
Okay,
Counselor, Mr. Kress.
Director Kress?
Enhance is they go back 10 years of your life and check your background, check your family history, the whole works. So it's a very enhanced check, background check on you as well.
So if you have a long lost cousin who got into trouble, does they count? Or only yourself?
Just your immediate family only.
Okay, keep them close and happy, I guess. And how much, like vaguely, does this enhanced security check cost to whoever's paying for it? Any vague idea?
Their response was for the enhanced security checks, the department is absorbing those costs for all municipal policing committee appointments during the implementation phase, and there has been no discussion yet around determining costs to munis going forward, and also how that would be administered between the department and the munis. More will come on that in the near future. So they had no inclination to what it would cost. I've heard speculation, from other municipalities with in discussions when this first came out that maybe in somewhere in the hundreds, a couple hundred, but I have no idea.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments on anything in this one thus far? Would someone care to move us forward with first reading? Councillor Shannon.
Move that council provide first reading bylaw number 2180, Peace River Policing Committee bylaw.
Thank you. Are there any further discussion at this point? Okay, everybody is clear on the motion? All those in favor? It is carried.
Any objection to keep going? Yeah.
Okay,
Boy, there's many more to make if we keep going. Sure. I'll move, council provide second reading to bylaw number 2180, Peace River Policing Committee bylaw.
thank you. Any further discussion at this point in time or any advice to the opposite? Okay, everybody is clear on the motion for second reading. All those in favor? Okay. Anything further? Councillor Ford?
Thank you, Your Worship. I put a motion on the floor to have bylaw 2180, the Peace River Policing Committee bylaw, be placed for third reading.
Thank you. Any further discussion at this point? All those in favor? Opposed?
Oh, pardon me, 4.
You're in favor? Okay, it is, everyone's in favor. Okay, we've got a place for third reading. Does anybody care to, Counselor Good?
I'll move third reading of bylaw 2180, Priest River Policing Committee bylaw.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Thank you, Ms. Parsons. And you're gonna be telling us now about bylaw number 2181, the Peace Regional Healthcare Attraction and Retention Committee bylaw.
Thank you, Mayor Lindsay. So again, this was brought on the 25th. Not a lot of changes, a couple of typos were fixed. We added on 19 for reasons for termination of a member, just for any reason as deemed necessary or appropriate by council. Just kind of a catch-all, like, you know, in case something wonky is going on with the committee that council maybe needs to step in. Hopefully very unlikely, but just covers all our bases. And then again, the same change, I believe, with respect to staff not having to be, not having to be gone for a minimum of 12 months, just no longer an employee of one of the regional municipalities. And the only other note that I wanted to make for council on this one was that we have not forwarded this one specifically to the committee for feedback. I wasn't feeling that that was of extreme importance because they had worked so diligently on the terms of reference, and that this had followed the terms of reference so closely that it wouldn't impact them as much, but it is, and they don't have a meeting until November. But we certainly could send an email for comment if council felt strongly that that needed to happen.
There's, besides that discussion on number 10, membership. I would like to see, one of the others that's on paper here, I guess, one representative from EMS. We usually have had such a person attending, and it's been very helpful on the ambulance and emergency side of things. Councilors, any questions, comments, concerns? Councilor Ford?
Just EMS as in who, like just anybody from emergency medical services? Or is it an AHS position?
Well, I think it's been the manager or the director of EMS here in town, quarter.
Oh, okay, so from the town.
Well, from the region, he's a regional person,
Because the dispatch is here.
the regional dispatch, EMS services. The ambulance,
Oh, so that would be Alberta Health Services then.
yeah. Yes, I guess he's an AHS. 20. Councilors, any further comments? Someone care to move it?
EMS is not part of, moved from AHS to acute care Alberta. So they're not under AHS anymore, they're under acute care.
So,
Yeah, it should just, so you can have it just EMS, they are what they are.
yeah,
Okay,
that saves us future.
so they are identified.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything further? Someone perhaps care to move us through first? Reading?
Is it kind of a math thing on number 9 where up to 11 voting members, but there's only, am I counting that right? There's only a possibility of 10 from that list of voting members?
6.
Or
Yeah.
did I miss something?
You're right.
Next. Good catch.
6.
What is that?
Under 9, under membership.
If you look at A through G, there's 10 at the most there.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
I don't know what the term-
If you count them all up, it equals 10, but the number at the top says 11.
Are we we're not missing one. That's just, that's the kind of one reason why Jim over my head is like, maybe we're not accounting for someone we should be counting for.
It looks like if you look at the membership listing, it's just a typo.
Oh,
The terms of reference says 10, so I must have just mistyped it and then not
That's a
specifically
far-
counted them again.
far better mistake to make than to miss somebody that should be there. Very good.
Yeah, so essentially the voting members are the 5 reps from 5 municipalities, 1 from the clinic, and 4 members from the public. I note in here, members from the public, it indicates that 2 of the 4 should be residents of the town. I just note that for information, so read that someplace. Any other questions, thoughts? Unless someone wants to move us forward.
Should we wrestle with that? Ms. Parsons' original thing about contacting or the email or whatever, or are we kind of okay with the alignment to the terms of reference to just roll through this one as well?
Personally, I would say it should be okay because the terms of reference are really the basis of this document for all intents and purposes.
So everyone's had a input.
Well, we spent last year 2 or 3 meetings updating terms of reference.
Good.
But we could just do first reading here, but then the committee itself is to look at it. It won't be till November. Municipalities could do it at their whim. But it was sent to municipalities, so it's great.
I did send it to their administrations, specifically their administrations, for comment. I only received comment back from Northern Sunrise County. And their feedback was implemented to the bylaw. And the only, I would say, big thing, 2 big things, I guess, that changed from the terms of reference that would impact the committee members is, one is the expiry of terms. But that was mitigated by saying the council could forego that mandated 1-year absence if you know the committee was really on a roll or they were concerned about getting members and weren't able to, the council could extend that time because I think that was a concern when the terms of reference were done and that was left off. So I wanted to make sure that that was accounted for. And then the reporting annually to the regional members is also an impact, but I don't think it'll be a big impact. It's a busy committee. It'll be easy for them to put on a report what they've done throughout the year and send them off to council. So those would be the 2 impacts outside of the terms of reference.
Okay, anything further, anyone? Someone want to move us forward? Councilor Carr?
I would move the council provides first reading to bylaw number 2181, East Region Healthcare Attraction Retention Committee bylaw.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Everybody's clear on the motion for first reading? Okay, all those in favor? Great, it is carried.
I'll move council provide second reading to bylaw 2181, Peace Regional Healthcare Attraction and Retention Committee bylaw.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Everybody's clear on this? Oh, sorry.
I might just suggest that one of the motions, if council does, yes, just to include that EMS position that the mayor would like to see in there, and then the 11 to 10. Thank you.
Okay, so second reading as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Anything further, Councilor Ford?
Sure, thank you, Your Worship. I'll put a motion on the floor that bylaw number 2181, Peace Regional Healthcare Attraction and Retention Committee bylaw be placed for third reading.
Do we stick as amended on that one or not? It's already done. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ford. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of that motion for placement? Great, it is carried. Anybody else want to make another motion? Deputy Mayor?
I'll move that council provide third reading of bylaw 2181, Peace Regional Healthcare Attraction and Retention bylaw.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Everybody's clear on the motion? All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Thank you, Ms. Parsons. And now Mr. Fisher is going to tell us or talk to us about the bylaw number 2182, industrial and commercial tax incentive bylaw.
Good evening, council. So, you guys have already seen this bylaw last week at our GMP meeting. I just want to highlight a couple of changes since you did last see it, in the new bylaw or the proposed bylaw. So the first one is there's a missing definition that's been added for major renovation. We have kind of updated the wording in clause 9, or section 9. Just to be a little bit more clear about how the tax exemption is going to be applied. So 75% in year 1, 50% in year 2, 25% in year 3. So the wording is just a little bit easier and clearer going forward in the bylaw. The other two big changes to highlight is the change from credit to exemption. That's to align with the Municipal Government Act. There's just, it's the tool that we would use to provide this as a feature taxation. It's actually an exemption, not a credit. And then we've removed the section at the very end for appeals. It says council's decision is final. There's actually a section in the MGA that permits a judicial review if an applicant is not happy with administration's decision or council's appeal decision.
Thank you. Was there something that I read in here about this having to be done within 8 years? Or was that something else?
That was in the first one, when we were talking about it being a credit. So the credit had to be used in the first 8 years because it's an exemption. It's not, there isn't actually taxation for the additional piece to use it.
Okay, so the 8 years is not a thing.
Not in the year anymore.
Okay, I was really wondering about that. Researched. Councilors, any questions on this one? So this applies to commercial and industrial types of
Yeah, specifically it's, with class 2 and class 4, or it's 2 classes in the MGA that this applies to, so non-residential properties, basically.
Thank you. Councilor Good? Okay, well, we could go first reading, just keep discussing.
Okay, I'd like to move first reading of bylaw 2182, industrial and commercial tax incentive bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Good. Any further discussion about this one?
Do you have a question?
Councilor Carr?
How would they apply for this? How would people who are applying for this?
Yeah, so in the bylaw, there's a little bit of a procedure. They'll apply to administration. And then when we actually adopt this, we'll build a form and have it on the webpage. And then as they approach completion of their development, they would apply to administration. We would work with the assessor to get an estimate on what the impact on taxes would be going forward. And then enter into an agreement if it was approved.
Any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Good, that this go to first reading, so. Okay, we need first reading. All those in favor of that motion? Thank you. So I know the recommendation was this to go to first reading, for only. Is there any issue with going to second reading now, or should we wait for further scrutiny or anything? No. Okay,
No, we just wanted to have some space.
yeah,
Good practice to give first reading, come back for a future one, and hasn't been out there that long.
okay. So,
If council wanted to, you could have somebody go second and third.
You can just stop at second, one at a time.
I'll have that. Councilor Shan.
Move the council provide second reading to bylaw number 2182, industrial and commercial tax incentive bylaw.
Any further discussion at this point? Okay, everybody's aware of the motion, all those in favor? It is carried, thank you. And we will stop there unless someone's got a wish to do something else. And cogitate on it till another time,
What would be the reason for delay?
cogitation, thinking. Is that you guys?
So public can see it.
It's been on the agenda. This is not even the first time we talked about it, even last time was the first time.
Right. Yeah,
I've cogitated. I move that we place bylaw number 2182, industrial commercial tax incentive bylaw for third reading.
thank you. Any further discussion on that one? Everybody's aware of the motion, or clear on the motion, all those in favor? Great, it is carried. Anything further?
Oh, I just better find
Hey,
it.
I'll come in.
Oh, go ahead. No, got it.
You were going.
You had your mic on. I was looking for it.
You had it read by now.
I have nothing to talk about.
Okay, who's doing this one?
Go ahead.
Or this.
Okay, it's like the AW ad. First.
Thank you, your worship. I put a motion on the floor to give third reading to bylaw 2182, the industrial and commercial tax incentive bylaw.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, everybody's clear on this motion and its intent and meaning. All those in favor? Great. Well, thank you, Mr. Fisher and your staff for getting us through this one. Unfinished business, we don't have any, but Mr. Fisher is now going to tell us some current business, direct control development permit application 2025-42.
Thank you. So what you have in front of you is a request for a decision for a development permit in the direct control district. This is the artist formerly known as Lions Campground. The new owners would like to add, sort of redevelop some sites on there to have 10 all-season cabins and 10 all-season camping spots, which is sort of a change of use from its current use, which is seasonal in nature. They would also like to add like water and sewer to support those all-season uses. And then they have an ask-in to include a playground. So there's a proposed playground on there as well that we got this afternoon that I think would make a lot of sense. It's enabled in the district and it's a lot easier to do now and approve if you guys are comfortable with it, then come back for another decision. So in general, the proposed development does align with the MDP. The municipal development plan, sort of the property in question is intended as a future park and campsite. It kind of meets the general requirements in our land use bylaw with parking and stuff. So our recommendation as administration would be to propose the development permit application that we've received with some special conditions. In addition to like the normal conditions that we would apply as a municipality. So the normal conditions be like, you have to go get your permits from like building code, you have to do your utility, like it's really straightforward stuff like that. The special conditions that we've included, one is that they have to provide an updated site plan. The site plan that they submitted with their application has 11 cabins, not 10. So they just have to update that accordingly so that it's got the right information on there and then show the playground more clearly instead of proposed, show it as a current ask. So submit that by the end of September so that we can have it on file. They would have to enter into a development agreement, which usually covers things like securities from the municipality's side, where they're tying into our utilities or modifying our utilities. It allows us to impose conditions around that, like, hey, you need to come to the inspection or involve us in those tie-in pieces. Those are probably the two biggest ones that they have to enter into the development agreement and submit the updated site plan. There's other ones in there that cover offsite levies. Those are kind of templates, I have to look, I think we've actually covered offsite levies. With the subdivision application that's in process, which is also a condition that they're moving through the subdivision. But it's in progress in a separate process. So I think that those ones are kind of already covered, at least in progress. So those will be the two new ones that they're not kind of expecting. So our recommendation would be to approve it with the special conditions and our standard conditions.
So the special conditions are the 7 that we have written up here, and the playground is extra, or it would be included in one of the 7?
It would be included in their updated site plan or
Okay.
so instead of saying proposed, they would say playground.
Councilors, questions, thoughts on this one? Councilor Ford?
Just, one question. I know that property is on town water supply. Are they also on the solid waste system, or are they on pump out?
They have the ability to extend sewer down it. They have to install sewer, but they have the ability to in that location.
So that would affect the offsite levy?
No, but the offsite levy is like that would have been on-site stuff, but they're doing those tie-ins. We just have to be involved in the tie-in and connecting.
Well, it's a very interesting project. Maybe they'll put some solar on some of those roofs too. Looks like a prime possibility. But councilors, for the questions? So are the, power lines and so forth, would they be underground or over?
Right now, the site has overhead power on it. It's a combination, but like, the light poles coming from the south are overhead, I believe.
Okay, any further questions? And Councilor Ford wants to.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Put a motion on the floor that council approve the development permit application number 2025-42, subject to the special conditions outlined above.
Okay, so maybe it'll say attached to the minutes or something, right? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those, you're clear on the motion and its meaning. All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Well, good news. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Okay, and Mr. Fisher now wants to talk about the development officer appointment.
Yeah, so our current manager of planning and development is taking a little bit of a leave, and just for operational continuity, it's best to have more than just our development officer assigned as the development authority. In our bylaw, you guys actually have to pass by resolution, approve whoever is going to be the development authority. So we had our current development officer, Kobe, approved, and Ms. Modi was also approved as a development officer. Since she's not around, I'm asking council if they would like to appoint me development officer or as a development officer for the community, just for continuity. So if our current development officer takes a vacation or anything like that, we can keep files moving temporarily. And I might be back again as soon as I can find a replacement.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, would someone like to move us forward with a motion? Councilor Good?
I'll move the council appoint Pat Fisher to the position of development officer pursuant to bylaws number 1598 and 2124.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Everybody's clear on the motion?
Just one question.
Councilor Ford?
So this appointment would be until the person comes back from their leave, or is it permanent even when that person does come back?
Preferably until that person comes back or I hire a replacement, temporary replacement. The day-to-day is being dealt with by our current development officer. It's really just vacation coverage if we have to.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, everybody's clear on the motion. All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fisher, and good luck on that new appointment there too. So next up, Mrs. Bell, Director Bell, Community Service Board appointment.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Before you is a report with recommendation from the Community Services Board for the appointment of a new board member. The board received and reviewed the application of a Ms. Cora Ostermeyer and makes the recommendation for an appointment to the board as a 3-year term public member.
That's very straightforward. Counselors, any questions of this? So this has gone through the library board and community. Okay, then, would someone like to put forth a,
Yeah.
Service.
oh, where,
That's
say
okay.
that?
You said library.
We'll make it work.
Sorry.
I'll move the council appoint Cora Ostermeyer to the Community Services Board as public member at large for a 3-year term.
Great, that gets her on the right board. Any further discussion? All those in favor? It is carried, so welcome new community services board member. Okay, next up, what do we have here? Maybe this is the new library board. The Peace River Municipal Library Board bylaw approval.
That is correct, Your Worship. This report, though, this particular item, the library board can set its own bylaws, procedures, policies. But bylaws of the board, creation of that board are required as per the Library Act, must come to council for your approval. You have the opportunity to provide feedback direction to that board. Essentially, you would, through your liaison of your council member, provide feedback if there was an issue with the bylaw they put forward. We have approved bylaws in the past from the library. They did review this current bylaw in November 2020, well, October and November of 2024. We were just a little remiss at bringing it to council, just some new administration there, missing a couple of steps, but we're all back on track. So this bylaw is being presented to council tonight for your approval. There was one change to the bylaw from its previous iteration, and it was adding the fee for 3D printing as a fee has been added to the bylaw. That was the only change, unless Councillor Wojcik has any other feedback to this particular item. Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Then would someone like to put forth a motion with respect to this one? W. Mayor Wojcik?
I'd like to put a motion that council approve the Town of Peace River Library bylaw dated November 21st, 2024.
Thank you. Everybody's clear on this motion? All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very quick. Okay, next up, organization and compensation review update with Mr. Mugford.
Evening, Madam Mayor and Council. So before you this evening, it's an update to the organization and compensation review. So in early 2022, the town of Peace River engaged in an organizational compensation review to evaluate the town's organizational structure and compensation practices and to obtain recommendations for improvement. This briefing note outlines actions undertaken by administration to address and implement those recommendations. So included in the briefing note is a chart. So we'll go through the different recommendations and the action items that we took. So for items well, we address items 1 and 2 together, but, recommendation number 1 was, that the organizational framework used to guide the structure, design be focused on 3 outcome areas, so community services, infrastructure development, maintenance, and corporate services. The second one was, it is recommended that the organizational structure be modified to reflect the framework guidelines noted in recommendation number 1 by undertaking the following moves. So by shifting protective services from corporate services to community services, and by shifting health and safety, human resources, communications, and IT to corporate services. So the action items that were taken by administration as approved by council was the community services department was restructured to reduce the number of direct reports to the director. So the recreations facility coordinator changed to recreation and parks manager. Pool reporting moved from the director to that manager. And the parks lead position was created to support the director. So HR, Human Resources Department, that's which previously reported to the CAO, was moved to reporting to me, the corporate services. So the HR coordinator was changed to employee services manager. And the occupational health and safety coordinator was moved from reporting to the fire chief to that employee services manager. Also, the payroll and taxation clerk position, which previously existed in finance, was split. And it was changed to payroll and benefits administrator and reports to the manager of employee services. So that was moving that position from reporting to the finance manager. Now that position reports to the manager of employee services. Also, I'll note that the taxation clerk position was created and stayed within the finance department. So previously, taxation functions were split across numerous individuals within the organization. Some in corporate services, some outside of corporate services. So we have been consolidated all of those functions back into that one role. So also one of the recommendations, if you look back to recommendation 1, was effectively for a 3-director structure. Instead, we moved in the direction of creating a 4th director, so director of protective services and emergency response. And so as such, the CPO program, which previously reported to the fire chief, now reports to Director Kress. Also, we're in the process of transitioning the fire department. Currently, it still reports within corporate services, but the intention is to move that reporting structure over to Director Kress in the new year. Additionally, all bylaw functions report to the Director of Protective Services. The RCMP administrative staff, which are municipal employees, also report to that director. Additionally, that director is also taken on the bulk of the emergency services responsibilities as well. So further to these changes, we've also created the executive assistant position, which was recently approved by council, and that reports to the CAO. The legislative services coordinator position was changed to manager of legislative services. And the records management coordinator was removed from reporting to the director of corporate services to the manager of legislative services. And lastly, the communications coordinator position was moved from reporting to the CAO, and now it reports to the director of corporate services. Recommendation number 3 was that the organizational capacity be increased with the following additions. So there were 2 noted here: the addition of an IT specialist to be added to corporate services, and the addition of an HR specialist to be added to corporate services. The actions items taken were that within HR and employee services departments, we created an additional, effectively half an FTE through that change that I described earlier by moving payroll to report under the employee services manager. That position's additional functions beyond payroll are effectively achieving this recommendation by having that additional HR support. So that position in its duties, it also, again, is able to assist with benefits and policies and all of that type of, because again, one of the main recommendation, or one of the major recommendations coming out of this was that organizationally, our HR wasn't as advanced as it needed to be. And that's why the immediate change of promoting that position up to a manager level, followed by adjusting the payroll support to being under that role, achieves that outcome. On the IT side, we engaged with a managed service provider who initially they performed a full analysis of our system, and then we engaged them as additional coverage. So rather than employing an additional FTE, we're using contracted support, which there's a lot of flexibility in that. They have 24/7 coverage. They've got multiple individuals employed within their organization, and so they've got all that breadth of experience to draw from as needed. Item 4 is recommended that 2 new temporary positions be added to the engineering and infrastructure department and be evaluated in 12 months to determine their ongoing need. The 2 temporary positions are intended to increase capacity in the field for improved response to citizen requests. So at this time, that recommendation has not been implemented. On engagement of our current director, this recommendation was paused to allow time for staffing levels, workload, and responsibilities to be evaluated, and has managed to gain some additional capacity through in-house restructuring and contracted consulting. So administration is actively determining the highest priority needs wherever the capacity is most beneficial for discussion during the 2026 budget deliberations. Item 5 stated that it's recommended to meet future needs of the organization. 2 functions reporting directly to the CAO should be established. The first being intermunicipal relationship support, and the second being economic development specialist. So as action items, the business retention specialist position was created in 2025 to support economic development initiatives in the community. It does not direct report to the CAO. We have it reported within engineering and infrastructure. And the second action item was just while an intermunicipal relations position was not created, by splitting the executive assistant and legislative services role into 2, capacity will be open to enhance intermunicipal relationship building. Moving on to some of the compensation recommendations. So item 1 was descriptions, review, revise, and communicate total rewards and total cash compensation policies. So the action item is an HR consultant was hired to review the programs and create some policies around that. Policies are drafted and waiting final approval of an updated salary grid before being recommended to council. Number 2 was implement and maintain a salary range structure versus the current step system. That is competitive with market practices and recognizes a hybrid philosophy with respect to market percentiles. The action item there was in HR consultants, the same consultant was hired to update our salary grid. And those recommendations are with senior leadership team at this time. Item 3 was maintain compensation program administration procedures and practices for the fair, consistent, and transparent determination and ongoing administration of salaries. The action item was procedures and practices included within a total compensation policy to encourage transparency. Item 4 was consider developing an annual total compensation statement for employees. And the HR, as an action item, the HR department worked closely with Hillcrest Financial, which is they've effectively sourced our benefits provider in the market, and they've developed a total compensation statement for permanent staff. So those staff get updated with that information once a year. And what that entails, just for a bit of additional information, is working in a municipality, there's significance. If you compared to other positions where you might not receive benefits and pension and things like that, there's a value that wasn't necessarily being well communicated to the employees. And so that's what that total compensation statement shows, is it shows the value of our LAPP pension for eligible employees, the EFX pension, our health, dental, those types of benefits. Because all of that is important if, for an example, a potential employee, when they're comparing us against other employers. Moving on to item 5, which was maintain an annual or biannual review of relevant salary and market data practices. The action item there is as part of the total compensation framework. Salary structure will be reviewed every 3 years, or if obvious changes are needed to be considered. And the town participates in the AMSC wage and salary survey on an annual basis. So we're provided with the results of that survey from participating municipalities in Alberta. So basically, we submit what our compensation is for positions, and in exchange, we get back that data from similar communities that are submitted. And so that's a mechanism to ensure that we're staying competitive with the market. Item 6 is communicate the overall high-level compensation program review when it comes to leadership, management, and all the town of Peace River employees. So again, the copy of the document was shared with all of our staff and made available in Teams for their access. So administration will continue working to complete the action that's suggested to address each recommendation of the report. We're also seeking opportunities to further enhance attraction, retention, and overall organizational effectiveness. We also included with this the current version of the organizational chart. So there's several changes that have happened since this council last approved this document. And yeah, again, it's I would say at a high level, we didn't follow every recommendation to the letter, because again, you get a report from a consultant and they have these recommendations, and then we look at what our actual needs are as an organization. I think it's fair to say that a lot of the issues around crime and homelessness and some of those policing concerns that's been over the past few years weren't necessarily fully anticipated when the recommendation for our 3-director system was initially proposed, and that's why we adopted the current structure that we have. But in general, in terms of realigning certain functions to where they best should reside, I think we've largely achieved those outcomes over the past couple of years. Thank you, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Councilors? Councilor Ford?
Yeah, I know we asked this before, but I know we have Mr. Kress, he's our Director of Protective Services, and then we have Community Peace Officer ×2 plus casual. Where does our temporary bylaw fit in there? Or is that a casual? Again.
So as of right now, the second CPO position, which had been posted, we've filled that internally with that, the person that was previously in the temporary bylaw position. So we have not filled the temporary bylaw position. And at this point, I don't know that it's our intention to in a full-time capacity. I think we've identified that there's a seasonal, and perhaps Director Kress can speak to this in a bit more detail, but there's a seasonal need for bylaw, especially in the summer. We also were, as an organization, I think, as a community, pretty far behind in maintaining our bylaw needs. And so there was a fair bit of complacency in the community. So having a full-time temporary bylaw officer certainly was, I think, necessary to get to a point, a better point of maintaining going forward. But again, it hasn't been, a bylaw officer hasn't been added as a permanent position. With our, the proposed mix that we have right now, I think we'd be able to achieve the service level that's expected, but again, perhaps, do you want to speak to it further, Director Kress?
So we had quite a few applicants, but none were qualified enough. So Mr. Austin was inquired about the job. He fit the profile. He passed the pair test. And he is now 4 weeks into the program. So he will be, when he graduates, he will be a CPO, but his main job is bylaw enforcement. But this gives him bigger powers, being able to look up people's names, addresses, all that stuff, while he's doing the bylaws within the town. So he's got the same power as we do, but he will, and we are, all of us are working on the bylaws together to make the town more beautiful and livable for everybody.
Thank you. I note on here that it says RCMP support staff is 3, and on the RCMP quarterly reports, it usually says 4. So is there?
Yes, the county supplies one, support person there.
Any other questions of the org chart or the information that we had? No further questions then? Okay, would someone like to move this for, says for information, are we doing this for information like the org chart, or is it the org chart a separate thing for acceptance or not? Separate motions. Okay. Okay, so we'll take a briefing note for information if someone wishes to move that. Councillor Ford.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I move that council accept the organization and compensation review update and draft of organizational chart for information.
So would you mind removing the organizational chart, and we'll have another motion to accept that for our adopt it. We'll do the org chart as an adoption. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the briefing part is for information, which is the intent of the motion, I think. Any further questions on that part? Everybody's clear on that motion? Okay, all those in favor?
Just read it as it was written.
I know, I asked the question after though. Okay, then would someone be prepared to move the acceptance of the I don't know, what wording should we have here? We want
Or you want them to adopt? Council adopt the organizational chart as presented?
to, thank you. Anybody care to take that
The
first?
council adopt the organizational chart as presented.
Thank you. Any further questions on that motion?
Need a date?
We're good to go?
Happy? Okay.
Okay, all those in favor of that motion? Great, it is carried. Thank you. Okay. Moving right along here now, Mr. Mugford, you're going to now brief us on the ATCO Gas franchise fee annual review.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is an item that gets brought before council every year. We get 2 sets. What rate we charge for franchise fees. So beginning with the gas franchise. Since 2023, the rate used was 32%. This is only slightly less than the maximum allowed under the Alberta Utility Commissions, which is 35%. So in 2024, ATCO's delivery tariff revenue for Peace River was just over 2.4 million, which resulted in about $778,000 of franchise revenue for the town. The delivery tariff revenue estimate for 2026 is 2.473 million. And so therefore, based on the current percentage of 32%, that would result in $791,528 of revenue for the town. The budget implications of this are 1% increase in the fees results in approximately $24,700 of increased revenue for the town. Based on the 2026 forecasted delivery tariff revenue. In 2025, the budgeted revenue was 820,000. So assuming no changes to that percentage, we're looking to collect about 28,700 less in revenue from this source compared to the. So the options before council are that option, council increased the 2026 ATCO franchise fee rate to an amount to be determined by council. The advantage of increasing it is it's additional revenue from, it's additional revenue source for the town outside of our property taxes. So it picks up a wider or a different subset of persons outside of property owners. The disadvantage is the additional costs borne by those utility customers. It fuels the narrative that Peace River is an expensive place to do business. But the financial implication is it would increase revenue for the town. Option 2 would be to retain the prevailing ATCO gas franchise fee rate for 2026. So again, the advantage is just that there'd be no additional charges for those customers. The disadvantage is there'd be a modest projected reduction in revenue for the town. And option 3 would be for council to reduce the franchise fee from 32% to an amount determined by council. A reduction in the percentage rate change charge for franchise fees would reduce the cost of gas for users. So anyone that uses gas would benefit from that. Although we would likely need to find that revenue from other sources, which generally has been property taxes. So the recommendation from administration is that council retain the prevailing ATCO gas franchise fee of 32% for 2026. Thank you. I'll take the questions.
Councilors? Councilor Good?
Make the motion the council retain the prevailing ATCO gas franchise fee for 32% for 2026.
Thank you. The further discussion? Okay, everybody's clear on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? It is carried. Thank you. And next up, Mr. Mugford, we're talking ATCO Electric franchise.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. So again, a bit of history on this. The town increased the fee in the recent past. It went to 8% in 2018. It was increased to 11.5% in 2022, and then 12.5% in 2024. There was no change in 2025. The maximum rate that can be charged in this class is 20%. I included some updated percentages for comparable municipalities in terms of population size. And so the budget implications of this are the town anticipates to receive approximately $1,090,000 of electrical franchise fee revenue, which is a decrease from 2025's estimated revenue, which was $1,114,000. So this amount is in addition to the property taxes paid by ATCO Electric. Each increase of 0.5% in the franchise fee would result in an additional $44,500 in revenue. So again, franchise fees shift the cost of providing municipal services from property owners to the consumers of electricity. So this group includes tenants who pay their own utilities along with entities who operate without having to pay taxes. So for tax exempted entities that use power, we're collecting a little bit off of them through having this franchise fee. So option 1 is that council increase the ATCO fee to an amount determined by council, which again would be an additional alternative revenue source to property taxes, but it's adds an additional cost to those utility customers. Option 2 would be to retain the fee at 12.5%, which, similar to gas, would result in a very modest reduction in revenue for the town. And option 3 would be to reduce the franchise fee percentage, which again, that would be shifting the burden back onto property taxes in all likelihood, all things equal. So the recommendation from administration that council retain the prevailing ATCO Electric franchise fee of 12.5% for 2026. Thank you, and I'll take any questions.
Councilors, Councilor Carr?
Why the reduction? Like, why from 1 point, whatever it was, what caused that reduction? I can't say with certainty, I'd be speculating. We received a letter from ATCO where they provide the figures, and so they're forecasting what the estimated delivery tariff revenue is for the period. But I can't say with any certainty, I'd be speculating.
Any other questions? Deputy Mayor Boychuk?
You give me an approximate, guess on how much increase this is per customer? We're talking per year?
I'd have to do some calculations. Right now, if we don't do anything with the percentage fee, then that won't change, right? So the impact from that wouldn't be, there wouldn't be an impact if we don't change our percentage fee. As I said, it's about $45,000 increase for every half a percentage increase on this franchise fee. But I don't know how, if you were to spread that out over your customers, it would vary based on how much each customer consumes. But I don't have that information precisely.
So if we're just assuming we have 10,000 customers, it's $450 additional per customer per year, roughly, right?
That seems high, right? But my ability to do mental math or
Of course, I guess that'd be
more tested. Yeah, it's, yeah, again, it would be, it's with utility customers, they vary so drastically, right? So it's not as much down to your, like, say, an average customer, is it necessarily, you might have a couple of customers that use a lot of power, and they would pay a disproportionate share of this.
Mr. Fisher?
Yeah, I wanted to add some context to that question. So, a couple of our own town sites are fairly high electricity users, and your distribution charges are kind of scale with that. So there's a couple of sites where I think I'm paying close to $40,000 a year in just distribution and transmission charges on the actual power bill, not including the power usage. So it's not spread out over everybody equally by any means.
Thank you. So, and this applies to everybody that pays, ATCO Electric power bills, essentially. Okay. And that's not the same people that necessarily pay, property taxes.
Correct. There are several, as an example, any property that's exempted under COPTR, churches, any property that's exempted from taxation. You could also, in theory, have a property that has very low tax bill, but uses a lot of power, or the other way around.
Thank you. Any further questions? Anybody want to move us forward on this one? Some sort of.
One question.
Councilor Ford.
How would this work then if a resident was using, let's say, direct energy regulated or the other direct energy, how would this affect them? Or is that just carried over to that franchise?
So you're speaking of like the retail provider?
Yeah.
This would have no impact, because ATCO is they've got the distribution.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
All right, I'll move council retain the prevailing ATCO Electric franchise fee of 12.5% for 2026.
Thank you. Any further questions, discussion? Okay, everybody's clear on the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? It is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Director Kress is now going to bring us an updated, monthly Protective Services monthly call report.
Mayor, council, this is just a brief report for August 2025. As you see on the reports, we had 104 files this last month, 47 tickets. Year to date is 937 files, 86 are still active. And we're actually reduced that right now, so that's what Officer White and I are doing. My briefing note. CPO or bylaw officer Austin has now become our third CPO. He's now in training in Lac La Biche and has passed his pair test and actually did his OC spray test today, so he's passed it all. We have a casual that's coming in to give us a hand from the MV Greenview. Her name is Eva King. She's an experienced officer. So, and she's weights and dimensions, same as Officer Waite. We're dealing with the encampment downtown. From what we were told the other day by Second Tower Friendship Center, there is 56 individuals still coming for lunch at the Second Tower every day. So just wanted to let them know. We're working well with the residents and the businesses and RCMP to make the town safer. And that's my report.
Thank you. I noticed some unsightly properties that seem to have been cleared up very visibly, I would say.
Right now, I just did the invoices for nine property cleanups. So, yeah, we're trying to get the town cleaned up, so it looks nice.
So for those invoices, either the property owner pays them right away or they go against tax? Is that how it works or something different?
Yes, we send them an invoice with our, for the work done. If they don't pay within 30 days, then it gets applied to their taxes.
Yeah. And the option was always the property owner could have cleaned it up themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. And I noticed that traffic seems to take in almost 50% of the tickets or whatever here. Is there any particular type of traffic that seems to be of concern?
No, it's picked up due to the fact that Officer White is now on the road more, and he's also doing some commercial check stops, educating commercial vehicles on making sure that their logbooks are up to date. They have insurance, registration, same as other cars. We're finding a lot of vehicles that aren't registered and insured. So we're coming across a lot of that stuff, and cell phones as well. So a lot of cell phones and seatbelts. That they're just driving downtown with no seatbelts or cell phones in their hands, so.
Well, that's not so good.
No.
Yeah. Any further Councilor?
Yes, just under the type of complaint, can you explain the one under warrants? So that was more criminal.
So the one under warrants was an individual that I arrested in Valley View. And he didn't show up to court. Well, he pled guilty in court, never paid his fines. So I happened to walk into court last Monday or 2 Mondays ago, and he was sitting there. So then in town, and he had 15 warrants plus $7,600 in outstanding fines, paying state fines, warrants. So he was arrested and transported to RCMP.
Any other questions? Deputy Mayor and then Councilor Sketcher.
I see we have quite a few public complaints. What would be a few examples of that?
Public complaints is anybody that's loitering, garbage, noise coming in. They phone in and they make a complaint and they leave it on the voicemail. So then we take the voicemails and create a file, and then we call them back, and then we try to deal with them as soon as possible.
Councilor Scanlon?
Okay, so 104 files and 47 tickets, so I'm assuming the ones that don't get tickets are either warnings or they were unfounded or handled with conversation, or that would make a, or they're still open.
Yes. Yeah, so on the top, these are all active files that we dealt with. The total tickets were mostly provincial tickets that were issued for traffic violations, speeding, no insurances, and all that. So There is a couple bylaw, but there's mostly traffic provincial regulations that we written for tickets.
So I noticed a buddy of mine got, a bylaw thing, but it had, this would be the fine if you don't complete this by this date. So I'm assuming you do a lot of that, and my guess is that most people would not want to incur the fine, so it gets within the window that's provided.
Yeah, when we do a cleanup or unsightly property, we send out a notice, which gives them time and also explains what needs to be done. And if they don't complete that, they can ask for extension, or if they don't bother to even do anything, then we have the right to fine them, and then we bring in the crew and have the work done for them. Then they pay the crew plus the fine plus the invoice.
Now, I find it rather unlikely, although it takes all sorts, I suppose, that someone would be sitting at their house, not cutting their grass, and you come bang on the door, give them the thing, they still don't wanna do it, you send a crew there. I don't know, are they sitting in their window with a cup of coffee, watching the crew cut their grass for them and then bang? Or is this more like maybe absentee owners or people that are from, own property that don't live in town, that just don't want the hassle? Yeah, you deal with it, I'll just cut you a check, like. Make it make sense for me.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. We had an individual house up on the west side that our bylaw and CPO went and knocked on the door, and the grass was a foot tall. Said, here's a notice, you've got 2 days, 3 days to get the grass cut, it's unsightly. So by the time, and if you don't, then we're gonna bring in the crew to do it. So within 24 hours, they cut the grass. And 3 weeks later, the grass is a foot again, and they haven't cut it again. So that's where he went and knocked on the door, and he says, you got 24 hours or we're gonna fine you in that. And before he got done touring town, the grass was cut again. So there is people that just don't bother, but then there's some people that are absent, and then we try to contact them before we do anything, so.
So, interesting scenarios.
Yes.
Any further questions of Director Press? Okay, well, thank you and good luck with, for next month or so.
Thank you.
Okay, other reports, we have the Town of Peace River Library Board meeting of May 8th. Ms. Boychuk, anything that you wanted to highlight here?
I just like to highlight, how much our board is moving forward and making some very positive changes. Now we've divided ourselves into some subcommittees to really look at things there, so things are really looking good there. I'm really positive outlook for the future of our library. I'm grateful to be part of this, but yeah, everything's looking good there.
And there's a full committee, basically?
Yes, I've had the opportunity to meet almost everyone. There's a couple new people there that we just brought onto the board that I haven't been able to meet because we took the summer off, so.
Great. Any questions of Mr. Boychuk? Well, very well used facility, so thank you and thank the staff there. Okay, would someone like to move the council accept reports 9-1 and 9-2 for information? Councilor Good?
I'll move the council accept reports 9-1 and 9-2 for information.
Thank you. All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Next up, we have the notices of motion, or no, information, so council communication package of August 29th. I note the incoming correspondence there deals a lot with some new bills that the province has passed or is passing and is still looking at regulations resulting from. Any comments there from, okay, so it's well worth a read because it does affect how councils kind of run in many ways. Anything else anybody wanted to say about council communication package? Okay, the other one under that title was the minutes of the Peace River Governance and Priorities meeting of September 2nd. So the draft minutes are there for our perusal, and perhaps someone would move us forward on motion for this one? Councillor Carr,
Not sure.
for information.
Yeah, I would certainly move for information, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And one intent to.
There we go. Okay, so Councillor Carr is so moved. All those in favor? Great, it is carried. Do we have any notices of motion?
I have none, your worship.
Okay, comments from the public? If not, closed session, we don't have any items. So, someone like to adjourn us?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Ford moves adjournment at 6:55. All those in favor? Anybody